Welcome to the History of Japanese Canadian. My name is Emi Takahata. Today you'll hear about 5 Japanese Canadians episodes through Japanese Canadian Culture Center. Before starting, I'll quickly explain what Issei, Nisei, and Sansei mean. These words are Japanese language terms regarding generations. Issei indicates a Japanese immigrant, first generation. Nisei means a native born in Canada whose parents were born in Japan, second generation. And Sansei means third generation. So can I get your full name, please?
Sure. It's Elizabeth Yuriko Fujita-Kwan, Manager of Heritage in the Sedai Project here at the JCCC.
Thank you very much. Can you tell me about the center here?
We call it the Moriyama Nikkei Heritage Center. The aim of it when they started it was to try and both introduce and then also engage anyone, whether it's locals in the area, whether it's Canadians in general, whether it's even international audiences, if they happen to find us online or wherever, with the history of the Japanese community in Canada. The exhibit that's up there right now, we talk about many different generations of Canadians of Japanese ancestry. So it starts all the way from, Issei from before the war, and then there's also Shin Issei, so we say, Issei who came after World War II. And then there's even a sign up for the Gosei baby, so trying to think about younger generations as well. And I think ideally, at least for me, maybe me personally, because my own history is from what I see as being a little bit like two different sides of the community, since my mom immigrated from Japan and my dad is an Issei. It would be nice to feel like there's further understanding or further connections made through the whole community between the generations who were here from before the war as well as the generations who came here after the war.
Here are 4 more Japanese Canadian with me today. Can I get your full name, please?
I'm Yuki Newbold.
The first question, what do you do and why you're here?
I'm a volunteer. I come once a week and volunteer in the heritage area and doing specifically archiving. We document items that have been donated, for instance, dolls, pictures, items of Japanese heritage. My situation is I come from a very large family. Lots of aunts and uncles at the time, and younger sisters were involved in the opening of the cultural center. And so from an early age, I was helping or doing things, participating in events right from the very beginning. When the cultural center first got together, which was in the early 60s. So I have been volunteering off and on since then.
Can I get your full name, please?
Jean Fujimoto. I do the archiving here, and the first thing, when I first started, a lot of pictures were donated from different camps. Like we were right after the war, a lot of us were sent to different camps. There was about 5 or 6 different camps that the government had sent us to different places. And then there was... most naturally, the children had to go to school, which was taught by high school teachers. They weren't really teachers; they were high school students that taught us in the camps. So then, when the war was finished and everything, and then people started donating class pictures from the camps that they were in, and then. What we did was, there's not too many of us left in our 80s. So we came in to identify peoples in the pictures from the different camps. So I was from a place called Tashmi, so all the pictures that was donated from Tashmi, the people that took pictures, we would try and identify the names for the archive. So we can identify the pictures and the names. My experience at the camp, actually, as children, we were small, so it was our parents that suffered, not us. First, I was born in Vancouver Island, and then when the war started, they had sent people from Vancouver Island, most of them into a place in Vancouver which is called Hastings Park. And we went through, it was quite a sad place because it was a barn. that we were sent to where they had stored stocks. I mean, horses and cows and that. So it was really hard on all of us.
How long had you been there?
Well, in Hastings Park, we were there for maybe about 3-4 months. I think about 3-4 months. And then as soon as the men were sent out to the old camps before we were sent to a place called Hastings Park. When they started building houses for Japanese Canadians that was sent away from their homes, they brought these men back to build homes in different places. So they were called camps. We were the place where they built the houses was had to be about 100 the Japanese had to be about 100 miles away from BC. You have to stay away. And then the closest camp that they made was called Tashmi.
Can I get your full name, please?
Noreen Kurayama. I've been coming to the center off and on for the past 35 years. I first came because I'm from Montreal originally. My parents never talked much about their past, so it came as a surprise when I was about mid-teens to find out what had happened during the war. And coming from Montreal, there was not so much an Asian factor. Coming to Toronto with a cultural center and a larger group, I just sort of, my curiosity and just trying to find out more about my past history.
And what did you find?
A group of people that were kind of on the same wavelength as I was, which surprised me because we had maybe not the same exact history, but we seemed to have the same kind of a background.
What do you think about the Japanese culture?
It's clean.
That is. It is.
Can I get your full name, please?
Elaine Ishibashi. I'm here to be in contact with my Japanese heritage. Even though I was born here, I'm here to stay in contact a bit with my Japanese heritage. I don't speak Japanese, but I've come here to the archiving program, and I find it very interesting to learn about Japanese history in Canada. There's a lot to discover, things that I haven't known about. And after the war, our Japanese parents didn't talk about their background very much. So there is a lot that I've learned.
Ishibashi-san, are you second or third generations?
I'm third generation. Both my parents were born in Vancouver and came out to Ontario after the war.
What is the most fascinating about Japanese or Japan?
Well, I think sort of on a broad scale, Japanese are very, very proud of their own culture, but also very open to what's in the outside world and very good at adopting Western ideas.
JCCC is a significant place for learning their history and stories.
A lot of what we are trying to do at the MNHC, or the Moriyama Nikkei Heritage Center now, at least is to try and help members of the community have a space to talk about the history, to learn from each other, regardless of what generation you are, or if you were born here or not born here, so that we can at least have that as maybe something that's mutually understood. And then maybe that could be a good jumping point for everyone to have discussions about their own family history and why they decided to come here.
Thank you for listening. Next topic is how Japanese Canadian lives changed before World War II and after. Please stay tuned. My name is Emi Takahata. Bye for now.